Open. That was game number 1 with Mouse Sports Mana taking it, and now he only needs 2 more maps to be crowned the champion here for the DreamHack ISO Open. Looks like we are ready. The countdown has begun. It's time to get started with game number 2. Again, moving on to ESV Cloud Kingdom.
And remember, Mana has played on this stage before. Back in 2010, he actually competed in the DreamHack Winter Finals, unfortunately falling a little bit short of the mark, but currently is 1 game up against Dimaga here, looking to close it out.
Let's introduce our players here in the northeast position as the Red Zerg. Give it up for MTW Dimaga. And in the southwest position as the Blue Protoss from Team Mouse Sports, taking game number 1 and only needs 2 more to win. It is Mana.
And as I mentioned earlier, I said that Dimaga has multiple experiences from playing from behind at different tournaments. These guys, these very 2 players we are witnessing battle it out here, met in a tournament in the midst of 2011, in the summer of 2011, where Mana took a 2-0 lead over Dimaga, and Dimaga crawled it back to win the series 3 games to 2. He has done it before, and he has done it against this opponent. So is he going to be able to do it again here? Cloud Kingdom can play a very aggressive style again if Mana does decide to choose it. The bases from both of these guys are not that far away from each other here, to be honest.
Right, and you know what? That's going to be a very, very important aspect here for Dimaga. One thing he keeps in mind, and we didn't really see too much, Mana didn't necessarily need that really early pylon. He didn't need to hide that probe because of the layout of Ohana, but here on Cloud Kingdom, we may see a probe hide up in this area, try to drop a pylon so the Protoss army can reinforce and attack this third. This will be one of the hardest points to defend here, just because it is so far from the main base, having to go down this ramp through the natural and over, and then also any reinforcing units from here do have to make their way over. So that will be one of the challenges that we will see Dimaga deal with here if Mana does indeed choose to go with another aggressive strategy like he had in game number 1.
And of course, yeah, I mean, with Protoss is wherever there is a pylon situated anywhere on the map, you can warp in aggressive units. That's their advantage of being Protoss here. Whereas Dimaga has to build units from his bases, and that's the thing that's going to make it a little bit more difficult to hold aggression on multiple fronts, and most likely on that third base location. We already do see that little block on the natural through the pylon, but there is the Nexus going down, followed by a gateway. So the Forge Gateway, or Forge Nexus Gateway, second pylon, a very late cannon here, so a very late defense. But the thing is, Dimaga's not really interested in running anyway. He's really busy with this probe, chasing it down, making sure it dies, and keeping information away from his opponent.
And it was picked off here by the 4 initial lings of Dimaga. He will take this third base as well, so far starting off as he normally has. We do see 1 gas, a 2nd gas going down here for Mana. Will likely occupy those as soon as they are finished. And meanwhile, the Nexus is about to complete. He's thrown down the Photon Cannon here at the front for defense. And as the gateway finishes, let's see what we get out of there right away. Will we see him again start with the Zealot and possibly move it over to not only check on the third, but possibly even start a little bit of aggression?
Absolutely, and there is the first Zealot being made now from the gateway, and that Zealot, the sole purpose of its construction here is to find out, has Dimaga taken 3 bases? Because that is the standard style of play. He needs to be taking a 3rd base because Protoss is on 2, and he always wants to be a base ahead of his opponent. But the thing is, Dimaga is taking the gas again very early on, is going to be getting that speed out here, and will try to deflect any probes running across the map, any Zealots across the map also, and once again, there is that +1 attack upgrade being researched on the natural. The Overlord has full scouting information. The one thing it cannot see there is if Chrono Boost is being used onto the Warp Gate, onto the Cybernetics Core, and that's actually the clear indication of if attack is coming or not, depending on if Chrono Boost is used on it.
Yeah, and he was not able to see the Nexus, and the Chrono Boost is being put there. And if he did see that, he would probably know it's not being put down here on the Cybernetics core for a quicker attack. Now, look at this. Zealot is making his way over to the third right now. It is finished. A Queen is about ready to pop out of there. And now just a lot of drones coming out here for Dimaga. 6 additional drones. And I'm not sure exactly how he's going to deal with this. He might have to call some of these Lings back and use this Queen. But and instantly we'll see those drones retreat. There that Zergling goes. He does not want to fight that. That is not a battle he can win. He needs some friends. But more importantly, those Zerglings now no longer in position to check for these probes. We saw him over here earlier. And what is going to be next here for Dimaga?
And we actually, before we look at what Dimaga's doing next, we do have a probe making its way across here. Those initial Lings that were pulled to defend against the Zealot, as you said, we're scouting up on the top left, but now a probe is making its way all the way as a fighting unit here for some reason. Obviously, the probe's going to die really early on. There is a pylon planted down. Dimaga has 14 Lings in the making. 19 are already out. His speed is still 30 seconds away from finishing, but with the amount of Lings he has here, he can actually go charging down, and this is actually a fake rather than actual aggression. As the pylon gets cancelled, Mana only has one gateway. He's actually not looking to do anything there, rather than make Dimaga paranoid, make him make units earlier on instead of drones. And because of that, we see 35 drones by Dimaga, and Mana does pull off that successful little feint.
This will still be pretty interesting because I think Dimaga getting these initial Lings out, he's going to go up to the front, see that there's nothing there. He's collecting all these out here. He has the minerals to spend, and he's morphing in some Banelings, and that means he could go for a Baneling bust here. There are 2 sentries. The Forge is now going with +1 armor, and he puts the Zealot here to block. Now we do see the Overlord try to go in and see exactly what's going on. And is he going to move it forward? Let's check out the vision of Manas. And he will see the blink of these Banelings coming forward, and he's going to try to go for it. Will we see the force fields? Yes, he's going to hit the gateway. No, he goes after the Forge, and it does fall down, but we will see a force field put down there, and the Lings will be deflected. However, that did stop the upgrades here, and this gateway is about to fall as well. It only has 20 more hit points. As soon as those force fields go down, he may be able to attack. Another set of Banelings is coming in.
And because the Forge died, he actually can't build another cannon here, so he has to spend every single inch of his gas on sentries here. Otherwise, he will just break the front door down. This is a very tense moment for Mana, warping in 3, 4 more sentries. Another set of force fields do deflect the Banelings again. He actually tried to catch the Banelings there with a secondary force field come around, but unfortunately, he did not quite get that. Look at that. He is pylon blocked at the moment, feeling the heat here, having to throw down 3 pylons, cannot construct anything at the moment until he opens his supply up. But Dimaga down at 36 drones, still building Lings. He cut drones early to defend against an attack, then decided to do the aggression himself, but now he's playing from so far behind, and Mana very smartly gonna sit back and say, hey, you've messed up. You do not have the same economy I do, and he's going to stretch his advantage with his economy even further than it already is.
Additionally, we do have this Warp Prism coming out here for Mana, which he could use to be very aggressive on his opponent's base. However, I'm not sure that Dimaga is quite done here yet. He's setting up a nice attack here for the front, as well as some units over here at the third. He could attack from both, use this as a distraction, and go into the front. So he knows that his economy is hurt. He knows that he's got to do something, and this might be his answer to that. Meanwhile, he did throw down these double evolution chambers, but he had to morph in all those Banelings, so the upgrades have not been started yet. And this will be very key. How will he choose to attack this? He's also going to see that Warp Prism going across, but here comes the Lings and the Banelings into the third. Is he going to fall for it? No! All the Banelings get stuck in. He might be able to stop the third, and he does. He comes in from the back, even more force fields coming down, and Mana holds again.
Oh my god, Mana's making this look too easy, and he's going to pick off the third base Dimaga, that is. He's still building nothing but units. We see the Templar archives coming down. He will go over to Archons. Mana makes a mistake. Mana makes a mistake, and the Lings do get in.
A huge amount of Lings. There's going to be another flank from the back, and Dimaga coming in, surrounding all these units. He realizes there's nothing there, and he makes some units inside to the base. All of these units will be cleaned up here. He has created a block, but inside the main base, Zerglings going at the mineral line of mana and how many probes ultimately were lost. We've got a total of only 7 there. That could have been much more devastating, but by killing that third, he could have equalized things just a little bit. But the Warp Prism inside the main,
he's trying to do a bit of damage there. Did tickle the Queen a little bit, but with consistent aggressive units coming out from Dimaga, he was able to throw that away, and he is getting ready to defend it. But I can't believe one mistake at this level. Remember, these guys are playing in front of a live audience. The pressure is on. Mana makes a mistake, and he had to pay for it. But look at the big warping into the main base. These upgrades are at 1-1 for the Zealots. Nothing on the Zerglings. Mana in a great position, going to deal out a lot of damage here, and Dimaga in a world of trouble with this little counter attack.
Oh, this is going to be really bad. Another warp in going on, and this could single-handedly finish the game. He's going to morph some Archons inside the main base as well, and GG from Dimaga.
Wow. And what a crazy turnaround of that game. The Warp Prism making the biggest difference there, DJ Wheat. And, you know, as soon as that came in, Dimaga, feeling that he actually flicking his shirt there, is currently 0-2 down, facing one map from losing the final 0-3. He's done it before. He's came back from this scenario before. Can he do it again?
Well, he's going to have a long road ahead of him, and we're going to take a quick commercial break before we move on to game number 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more DreamHack ISO Open live from the Dream Arena Extreme. Don't go away.